From an ancient map that predicted Gru's arrival to a hidden rock that might be thousands of years old, today we're breaking down 10 hidden secrets you didn't notice across the Minions and Despicable Me universe. But first, if you love the Minions, drop a banana emoji. And if you're a true Gru fan, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Number 1. Every villain's final words. Tell their whole story. What if I told you every major villain in this entire franchise gets one final line that perfectly sums up exactly who they really are, right before everything falls apart? Vector's last words are simply, "Oh poop."
Oh poop.
Staying exactly as ridiculous and unbothered as ever. Even while stranded helplessly out in space, Mr. Perkins goes out cold and completely ruthless to the very end, coldly informing Vector he's officially failed him one last time. El Macho threatens that somebody's going to die tonight.
Somebody's going to die tonight.
Only for his own PX-41 serum to backfire on him in the most spectacular way possible seconds later. Scarlet Overkill screams that she's going to kill absolutely everyone in sight.
He tried to kill me!
Proving her temper never actually cools down for a single second, while her husband Herb spends his final moment desperately trying to calm her down instead of saving himself first. Balthazar Brat drops his now iconic line, "I've been a bad boy."
I've been a bad boy!
The perfect dramatic exit for a washed-up child star turned full supervillain, and in Despicable Me 4, Maxime Lamal is still furious that Gru stole his song years earlier, screaming about it even as everything around him literally collapses into chaos. So out of every single one, which villain do you think actually nailed their exit line the hardest? Number 2, Minions and Monsters might not even be real. Did you notice the timeline for Minions and Monsters genuinely doesn't add up the moment you think about it? The very first movie confirms the Minions didn't even reach the United States until sometime in the 1960s. Yet this new movie is clearly set in early Hollywood, sometime around 1920. So did Illumination just quietly rewrite the entire origin of the Minions without telling anyone? Not exactly, as it turns out. A tour guide early in the film explains that Minions eventually split off into several separate tribes from their original single cell, meaning this particular group is simply having a completely different adventure of their own. But that still doesn't fully explain how this separate group somehow ends up wearing the exact same overalls look the first group only discovered decades later, until we see them casually copy the outfit straight off a random janitor while getting dressed up as movie stars. And then the real twist lands right at the end. The entire movie is revealed to be a movie within the Minion universe itself, which technically means absolutely none of it is canon at all. Number 3, is July secretly the official month of the Minions? What if this entire franchise has been quietly hiding the exact same secret inside every single release date for over a decade now? In Minions and Monsters, a sci-fi convention poster casually lists dates ranging from July 5th all the way to July 10th, looking like nothing more than harmless background decoration at first glance. But look at the franchise's actual release history. Despicable Me premiered on July 9, 2010. Minions arrived on July 10th, 2015. Despicable Me 4 dropped on July 3rd, 2024. And Minions and Monsters also released sometime in July as well. That's an oddly specific, oddly consistent pattern to just brush off as coincidence. Major studios like Pixar are already famous for hiding recurring numbers and background props across their entire filmographies, so it genuinely wouldn't be surprising if Illumination has been quietly doing the exact same thing with the month of July this whole time. So was that convention poster just a random coincidence, or has July secretly been Minion season all along without anyone fully realizing it? Number 4, is Otto's pet rock actually thousands of years old? It sounds completely ridiculous on the surface, but stick with this for a second. During an ancient Greece sequence buried deep in the Minions timeline, sharp-eyed fans spotted a small rock with almost the exact same shape and appearance as Otto's beloved pet rock from Minions, the Rise of Gru. Most people watching completely wrote it off as just another random stone sitting in the background, but Otto treats that specific rock like a genuine, real companion, carrying it everywhere he goes with visible emotional attachment, which is unusually sentimental behavior, even for a Minion, given that Minions as a species have already survived for millions of years, quietly preserving random artifacts and traditions across entire ancient civilizations. It's not actually impossible that one very specific rock has simply been passed down through generations the entire time. So is Otto just casually carrying around an ordinary stone, or is he unknowingly holding on to the oldest companion in all of Minion history? Number 5, was the alien cosplayer secretly spying the whole movie? Everyone just assumes the alien cosplayer getting bullied early on in the film is nothing more than a quick throwaway background gag. But what if he genuinely wasn't scared at all in that moment? Right after he gets noticed by the group nearby, he vanishes almost instantly, looking exactly like someone desperately trying to avoid trouble at all costs. Then later on, during one of the robot's most important and private conversations, that exact same cosplayer quietly reappears out of nowhere, perfectly hidden behind a candy cart, positioned just right to overhear absolutely everything without ever being spotted. If he was truly just a nervous convention goer, why would he conveniently show up again at exactly the right moment to eavesdrop on something so important? It's entirely possible he wasn't actually running from that earlier situation at all. He may have been quietly following it from the very beginning. So, was he simply an unlucky convention guest caught in the wrong place twice? Or has he secretly been watching everything unfold from the start? Number 6. Could a pair of sandals have saved the giant cyclops? What if the cyclops' entire dramatic downfall wasn't actually bad luck at all, but simply the result of not wearing shoes? During the chaos of that sequence, a few minions can briefly be spotted carrying a pair of sandals somewhere in the background, an incredibly easy detail to miss completely on a first watch. Moments later, the completely barefoot cyclops steps directly onto a pile of tiny toy bricks, stumbles hard from the sudden pain, and ends up falling straight off the edge of the cliff. Most viewers brush the whole thing off as simple slapstick comedy, but that earlier sandal shot suddenly feels a lot more deliberate once you think it through. If he had simply put those sandals on beforehand, he might have avoided stepping on the bricks entirely, meaning the entire disaster could have played out in a completely different way. It's exactly the kind of quiet, clever visual irony that animators genuinely love hiding in plain sight for attentive viewers. So, were those sandals just another quick background joke, or the one small thing that could have actually saved him? Number 7. Did an ancient map predict Gru's arrival thousands of years early? What if the minions somehow knew about Gru's eventual existence long before he was ever even born? Buried on an old Minions map absolutely packed with joke locations like Margot Bay and Abracadabra, one particular name stands out completely from all the rest: Mighty Gru Oceanus. That's an incredibly strange, oddly specific name to randomly include on an otherwise comedic ancient map. Throughout this entire franchise, the minions spend millions upon millions of years constantly searching for the one perfect master worth serving, with every single failed leader along the way pushing them one step closer to eventually finding Gru. If that map genuinely wasn't just a random joke, it would mean Gru's arrival may have quietly been written into the minions' destiny long before he ever technically existed as a person. So, was that name buried on the map just another silly background joke, or actual proof that the minions were always destined to find one very specific person? Number 8. The museum scene is secretly a love letter to classic Hollywood. Think that entire museum scene is just harmless filler background art with nothing else going on? Look a lot closer. Hidden carefully throughout the whole sequence are direct tributes to some of the most iconic movies ever made in Hollywood history. There's a subtle nod to E.T., a clear reference to Airplane, and even a quiet tribute to the original Frankenstein tucked away inside one of the display cases. But the most genuinely interesting part of all is Jaws, which doesn't even appear just once in this scene. Fans have already spotted 2 completely separate references to it, hidden in totally different corners of the museum, strongly suggesting the animators really wanted that specific tribute to be noticed by attentive viewers. So exactly how many classic films are hiding inside that one single scene, and how many has practically nobody found yet, even after multiple rewatches? Number 9. The newspapers are hiding an entirely different reality. Most viewers just glance at the background newspapers scattered throughout the movie and laugh without ever thinking twice about them. But if you actually pause the frame and read them carefully, the headlines start painting a much stranger picture than you'd expect. One headline straight up claims Santa robbed a bank. Another one reports that a dog named Marty somehow won a major award. Yet another insists that literally everyone in the city suddenly became rich overnight. Individually, sure, they're just quick throwaway jokes meant for a laugh, but taken together as a whole, they start suggesting an entire world where basic cartoon logic completely replaces normal reality, a place where the impossible is treated as perfectly ordinary. So, are these headlines really just silly, disconnected background gags, or a quiet, intentional glimpse into just how unpredictable the Minions' entire universe genuinely is underneath the surface? Number 10. One hidden book might explain the robot's whole journey. Hidden quietly inside the robot's apartment, visible for only a few fleeting seconds, sits a copy of Moby Dick sitting casually on a shelf. It sounds like nothing more than a random background detail at first, until you actually stop and think about what that specific book represents. At its very core, Moby Dick is a story about obsession, purpose, and a central character whose singular, all-consuming goal slowly swallows up everything and everyone around him. Now compare that directly directly to the robot's entire arc throughout the movie, constantly chasing acceptance and a genuine place to belong, a desire that increasingly ends up driving nearly every single decision it makes along the way. That's an oddly specific, oddly meaningful book to casually place in the background without any real reason behind it. So, was that really just a random novel sitting quietly on a shelf somewhere, or did one tiny hidden book quietly reveal the robot's entire emotional journey the whole time? And that's it! Which one of these secrets caught you off guard the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you want the next part of this series, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because we're uncovering even more hidden Minions and Despicable Me secrets next time